Did you know the handshake, now a universal sign of greeting and agreement, has its roots in ancient times as a symbol of peace? Originating over 2,500 years ago, it was initially a gesture to prove that one was not carrying a weapon. This simple act evolved into a sign of mutual respect and equality. In medieval Europe, knights would shake hands to jostle each other's armor, ensuring no weapons were hidden. Today, this gesture transcends cultures, symbolizing a form of connection and trust unparalleled in its universality. The handshake illustrates how a simple act can become an enduring symbol of goodwill, reflecting on how traditions evolve but retain their core values. Imagine a time when the act of drinking tea was bound by a labyrinth of rules. In Victorian England, tea time was not just a break in the day, it was a sophisticated display of manners and social status. Ladies were expected to master the art of tea making, a skill judged as critically as their conversation. Stirring the tea in a circular motion or clinking the spoon against the cup was seen as a social faux pas. This era elevated tea time to an art form, reflecting the era's emphasis on propriety and decorum. Tea etiquette from this period reminds us how social customs can be mirrors of the values and complexities of their time. Believe it or not, the way you use your napkin can speak volumes in the language of etiquette. The napkin, a seemingly simple piece of fabric, has a history steeped in decorum and class distinctions. In ancient Rome, guests brought their own napkins to dinners, symbolizing their readiness to partake in the feast. In the Middle Ages, shared napkins were common, highlighting a sense of community. However, with the Renaissance, individual napkins became a mark of refinement. The evolution of napkin etiquette from a practical item to a status symbol shows how everyday objects can be imbued with cultural significance and mirror societal changes. In a world dominated by digital communication, the art of letter writing seems like a quaint relic of the past. Historically, letters were not just a means of communication. They were a demonstration of one's education, social standing, and even character. In the 18th and 19th centuries, mastering the art of letter writing was essential. The style, handwriting, and even the wax seal were scrutinized for social cues. This form of communication required thoughtfulness and patience, qualities that are sometimes lost in today's fast-paced world. The decline of letter writing reminds us of the value of intentionality and personal touch in our communications. Medieval banquets were not just about feasting. They were a theater of manners and hierarchy. The seating arrangement at these banquets was a complex affair, reflecting the social status and importance of each guest. It was common for guests to bring their own knives, a practice that speaks to the era's blend of practicality and formality. Interestingly, forks were seen as an unnecessary luxury and didn't become commonplace until much later. These banquets, with their elaborate rituals, showcase how social gatherings have always been a stage for displaying etiquette and reinforcing social structures. In medieval and Renaissance Europe, the act of saluting with a sword was not just a military practice, but a nuanced form of etiquette. The way a knight handled his sword in the presence of others conveyed respect, allegiance, or challenge. Lowering the sword with the blade facing away was a sign of peace, while touching the sword's hilt symbolized a readiness to swear loyalty. These gestures, rich in symbolism, highlight how even weapons were integral to the language of politeness and respect in historical societies. The bow and curtsy, though now often seen as old-fashioned, have the rich history in the world of etiquette. Originating in the European courts, these gestures were not just signs of respect, but intricate dances of social hierarchy. The depth of the bow or curtsy, the duration, and even the footwork involved were carefully scrutinized. These gestures were a nonverbal language, communicating one's understanding of their place in the social order. Today, they remind us of the elaborate and often unspoken rules that have governed human interaction throughout history. In imperial China, etiquette was not just a practice, but a philosophy deeply rooted in Confucianism. The complex hierarchy and rituals of the Chinese court were designed to reflect cosmic order and harmony. For instance, the precise placement of guests at banquets and the meticulous order of serving dishes were seen as reflections of the natural and social order. This connection between etiquette and cosmology in imperial China shows how cultural beliefs can shape social practices in profound ways. In 18th and 19th century Europe, the fan was more than a tool for cooling. It was a medium of discreet communication. Ladies used fans to convey messages, with each gesture having a specific meaning. A fan placed near the heart meant "I love you," while snapping it open and shut signaled irritation. This secret language, now almost forgotten, illustrates how subtlety and discretion were valued in social interactions, especially for women, in a time when overt expressions were often frowned upon. Dining etiquette has seen a remarkable evolution over the centuries. In ancient times, communal eating was common, with hands as the primary utensils. With the advent of the Middle Ages, the introduction of the knife and spoon changed dining rituals significantly. However, it wasn't until the 16th century that forks began to gain popularity in Italy and later in the rest of Europe. This gradual inclusion of utensils not only transformed how we eat, but also how we interact at the dining table. It's fascinating to see how the norms of dining etiquette have mirrored societal progress and manners over time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these incredible facts, remember to like this video and subscribe to SciPulsar for more fascinating content. Until next time, stay curious and see you soon.